Today, we're going to look at some of the mysteries surrounding Luffy and talk about why that makes him such an amazing protagonist.
If you agree with us, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, since it's very important for the algorithms. And if you disagree with us, give us a big old thumbs down, because that also helps us too.
In a lot of series with ensemble casts, or just lots of characters, often the main character can seem a little boring or one-note compared to the more nuanced side characters. After all, the story probably follows the main character, giving you a look into their past, goals, mindset, and day-to-day life. It doesn't take long for that character to stop being the most interesting thing in the show, making way for the exciting new villain or the mysterious rival.
So how does Oda, after decades of writing Luffy and literally hundreds of other very, very interesting characters, keep Luffy in the spotlight as an interesting character?
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of reasons, but one we are going to talk about today is Oda's use of intrigue and how he surrounds Luffy with it.
I mean, you don't have to look any further than his name to find mystery. Monkey D. Luffy.
As a bit of a side tangent, when I first started watching One Piece, I thought the weirdest part of Luffy's name was the fact that his last name was Monkey. For those of you who are wondering, Luffy was inspired by Son Goku, who was inspired by Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, who journeyed from his home in the east with his friends in the story Journey to the West. I think you see where I'm going with this.
Not to mention Luffy's father's name is Dragon.
Dragon Ball Z. Once the story reaches Drum Island, we learn that the most fascinating part of Luffy's name isn't his last name, but actually his middle initial, that D, which he shares with Gold D. Roger, the Pirate King.
And throughout the story, we've learned that the name is even more important than we could have dreamed of, such as when Law and Doflamingo said the Celestial Dragons have a great enmity with those who bear the name, and when we learn in Odin's flashback how deeply the name is tied to One Piece's greatest mysteries. More on that in our Joy Boy video we posted before.
The way Oda characterizes Luffy is actually also full of mysteries too. For instance, think about this. We've often gotten to see the inner dialogue of certain characters in the series, but how many times has Oda given us a glimpse into Luffy's mind with a thought bubble or aside?
Zero. We have never ever seen what Luffy is thinking, unless he says it out loud. Now, Oda obviously plays this as a way to emphasize how Luffy dumb is.
How Luffy dumb is?
Wait, did I? What
Yeah, you said how Luffy dumb is.
How dumb Luffy is. And as a matter of fact, the first time we had this conversation, I literally was like, well, duh, Luffy's stupid. He doesn't have any thoughts.
However, Oda has also used this brilliantly to make Luffy a far more compelling character than he would be otherwise. For instance, we have times where he acts in completely incomprehensible ways for reasons that we are not privy to, such as when he refused to continue helping Vivian Alabasta, or when he starts shouting all the ways he is attacking Fujitora during their fight. And once he explains the reasons, we find out how in line with his personality his actions actually are, and we get to see a great depth in him and get amazing character moments we wouldn't have gotten if we actually were in his head.
There are also times we never get to see what he was thinking and are left to guess, such as when he refuses to listen to Nojiko's story about Nami. Was it because all Luffy needed to know was that Nami had a reason to do what she did? Or did he refuse to listen to her story because she said that if she told it, he couldn't interfere? We never find out. And I think that's just good storytelling on Oda's part. We get both characterization and intrigue through a lack of insight on Luffy's true motives.
And this all goes without mentioning any of the actual mysteries about Luffy that Oda has written into the story. For instance, the more we learn about Luffy's past, the more interesting it becomes. When the story started, he was just a village boy with very little in the way of mystery about his early life.
But then we slowly learned about how interesting his family is, giving us more questions about the parts of his family that we haven't gotten to see, like his mother, his grandmother, not to mention what actually happened to cause his family to break apart the way it did, with both his father and grandfather taking vastly different life paths.
And speaking of life paths taken, when Luffy was little, after meeting Shanks, he stated the path he wanted to take when he was talking to Sabo and Ace. And interestingly, we never get to hear what he said to them. Obviously, we were meant to conclude he told them he wanted to be Pirate King, but we now know that isn't true. He wanted to be something else, and when he told them this, he was unwittingly echoing the words of Roger himself. It is possible that he expressed this sentiment to Shanks, and that this was the thing he said that reminded Shanks of Roger.
What he said is still a mystery, and clearly one Oda feels is a very big deal. And if you want to know more about mysteries surrounding Luffy and just in One Piece in general, we have a video about all of the unsolved mysteries in One Piece up until this current arc.
In fact, going on with more mysteries, even Luffy's Luffy's clothing is a mystery.
Yes, his straw hat, which was originally just believed to be a gift from a friend, actually belonged to Roger once. And that's not all. As we see during the Reverie arc, this hat is weirdly significant, as there is an identical, though much larger one, in cold storage somewhere under Pangaea Castle. What this could mean is still a mystery.
Luffy's future in the story also remains a mystery. How can we say that?
Well, this isn't My Hero Academia. We didn't start the story off with the main character saying, "This is the story of how I became a hero." We obviously believe Luffy will become Pirate King, but Oda has always said that he has a very interesting ending to this story planned. One he has planned since the very beginning.
Only he and his editors know what this means. And even if Luffy will be Pirate King, there is a lot between there and now we have no idea about.
For instance, will he really destroy Fishman Island?
Will he awaken the power of the Gum Gum Fruit?
Will he even be able to defeat Kaido?
And the introduction of gears keeps things with Luffy fresh too. What will Luffy's next gear be is almost as frequently discussed in the One Piece community as the infamous question, who will be the next crew member?
Now obviously, not all of this is unique to Luffy, but Oda has used this sense of mystery in a multitude of ways that have kept the characters fresh and interesting far longer than many main characters have been able to keep the attention of the audience, and that's pretty amazing. We'll see you next time on The Voice of All Things.
Yo!
Geigo! Hey there!
Don't leave without subbing.
Hey there!
Don't leave without liking.
Hey there!
Don't forget to comment.
Hit the bell! Hit the bell! Hit the bell!